I got one. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Make Stuff Better. I'm starting a new show on the channel called New Car Tuesday. Now, I'm not going to have a new car every Tuesday. Because that doesn't fit the budget. But when I do get new cars, I'm going to do this show, basically things you haven't seen on the channel yet. Whether it's brand new or new to me, we're going to do a New Car Tuesday. Today is one of those days. I got one. I'm so excited. What I got was the black one. The reason I got the black one is I think it just looks super classic. On the Ford F150, there isn't a restriction on the black like there was on the Chevy. I think you could only get the black in stores, but you could buy the blue and the red one online. A lot of people really like this brown color, and that would have been my second choice had I not gotten the blue one. But if you haven't seen this before, this is the TRX4M hightrail Ford F150 Ranger. Longest name ever in the history of RC cars, maybe. Some of them have really long names. I'm going to spare you the noise of the styrofoam coming out of this, and we are going to do this the easy way. Much better. So what you get is the USB charger and a 750 milliamp hour Tues LiPo battery with proprietary Traxxas connector for the TRX4Ms. You obviously get the truck, and you get the owner's manual. But what's cool is in the owner's manual, they give you a trailer hitch right there. And shock collars.
Shock collar bouncing off the wall.
Shock collar. Ballers. All that kind of stuff. The other thing you get is the regular TQ radio. This isn't about the TQ radio though. This is about the truck. So this is the latest release from Traxxas in the TRX4M lineup. Let's get this body off and see what's under the hood and the bed and the cab and all of it. We do have headlights in the headlight position, which is amazing. It's not just fog lights in the bumper. So that's there. This is just like the regular TRX4M. The differences are bigger wheels, longer chassis, so your wheelbase is a little bit longer. That means your links, your drive shafts will be just slightly longer maybe. Yeah, I think they're a little bit longer. And then your shock towers are different, but your shocks are actually the same. So the shock towers sit lower to make the truck sit higher, and that gives you the high trail look. I know a lot of people are probably wondering, what's the difference between this and an SCX24? Well, to answer that question, I have an SCX24 here. This is the Bronco that is stock. I know it seems like we're comparing apples to oranges because this is a Bronco, this is not a Bronco. This is 18th scale, this is 24th scale. And for some companies, they kind of muddy the waters with that. FMS makes their FCX24, which is really just a short wheelbase, 18th scale from what I understand. I don't have one, I will have one eventually. And then they make their FCX18, and those use the exact same axles and wheels and a lot of parts. The FCX18 is longer, but if you look at the TRX4M and the SCX24, this one's considerably wider. All the proportions on it are a little bit bigger. This one's considerably shorter. If I put them on top of each other, you can really see the width difference there. Go sideways, you can see the length difference. So that's what you're looking at as far as scale difference. This truck does retail for $175. This one currently retails for $160. I think it's $159.99, so it's basically $160. And people go, well, you don't get bearings in this, you get bushings. True. This one does come with bearings, but you also get licensing here that you don't get on other 18th scale vehicles, like ones by FMS or RC four-wheel drive maybe, where they make them look like a Toyota or something else, and they can't put the name on it because they haven't licensed it. So you're paying for a license here. You're also paying for the Traxxas name. I mean, if you ask me, Traxxas is like the Apple of RC. They do fully integrated systems, batteries, cars. They make all not all of their own upgrades, because other companies do make upgrades for them and they're allowed to, but they create an all-inclusive system for their cars, whereas Axial will do like FlySky or Spectrum radios for their cars, and they'll use, you know, motors out of something else, or have someone else make their motors, put the Axial name on it type thing. Another thing you're getting when you buy the Traxxas is, along with the name comes popularity. So other companies are going to make a lot more upgrade parts for this truck than they will some of the oddball companies out there, like some of the Chinese brands. There is a ton of upgrades for this though. So if you're looking for upgradability, you don't need to get one of these. You can get something a little bit cheaper with bearings in it. One of the big differences between these two vehicles, other than their size, is, I don't know if you can see that, maybe you can see the back better. This is your drive shaft. It doesn't come in straight to your pumpkin because it's got a worm gear in it. Whereas the drive shaft here does come straight into the pumpkin, and this is a ring and pinion gear. So Axial has a lot of gearing down that happens right there in the axle that the Traxxas doesn't. This truck does have a lot of chrome on it. Everything from the windshield wipers to the bumpers, your wheels. That's another thing that's licensed on this vehicle, is the wheels, your roll bar, mirrors, the trim piece, your little door handle there. It's all chrome, which is very fitting for the era of this vehicle, but chrome's not really my thing. I might do something different with it in the future. This is not probably the first time you've seen F150 hightrail in the TRX4M platform, just because it's not super new. It is new to me, but I mean, people have already modded these things a lot. One of my favorite mods actually is the low trail, where it's, you know, got smaller wheels, the suspension's lower down. It looks like it's more of a stock truck. Matt from Scale Builders Guild, I'll put a link to his video down below where he does that. I think he has the blue one and drops it right down. It looks so nice like that. But this video is really just me sharing how much I love RC, and maybe I'll go over some things here that you don't find in other videos. This does come with an 87 turn 180 size brush motor, the Traxxas standard micro servo, and a 2-in-1 ESC receiver using all of the Traxxas technology. So if you want, you can plug in a different brushed motor into this ESC, maybe something with more turns, or it runs a little smoother, maybe less turns if you want it to run faster. You can also add lights. There is a spot for lights in the ESC. So I believe they will come out with a pro scale lighting kit for this truck. They already have the pro scale lighting kit for the Chevy C10, K10. It's one of those. Your battery is held on with a little rubber strap here, which is actually really strong, it seems like. Should hold the battery just fine no matter what kind of tumbles this thing takes. Now, there is no on-off switch for this truck. You plug the battery in, it's on. You unplug it, it's off, which a lot of people don't like, but it's actually a good thing in my opinion, because you'll never leave the battery plugged in if you have an off switch. Like the SCX24 has an off switch, but if you turn it off and leave the battery in there for 2 days, you'll ruin the battery. It'll just drain it right down to nothing. There's something that draws inside of the electronics, and I've ruined at least 2 or 3 batteries by doing it that way. So just by unplugging it, that's how you turn it off. I think it's more of a safety feature for your battery. Now, something that is worth noting is that the roll bar lights, there is a panel on the bottom with 2 screws in it. It looks like it's removable. So a pro scale lighting kit, they'll probably build LEDs that fit right into the bottom of that. Maybe this comes off instead of the panel dropping out the bottom, and then there'll probably be just one little wire that runs down. There it is, powered on with the lights on. This thing looks sick. A little sad that it doesn't have an interior, but you know what? I can overlook that, and I'm sure if someone hasn't created a 3D printable file for an interior for this thing yet, they probably will very soon. So that's going to be exciting to look forward to. Let's take this out and drive it. All right, so first run, TRX4M hightrail F150 Ranger XLT. Just trying some different things here. I hear a lot of people talk about how the modulation on this thing right out of the box is terrible. just because it seems like it's geared too high, and maybe the bushings create too much friction. And while those things may be true, I don't find it to be terrible. I think some cheap brands will actually be worse because the electronics are worse. I did get the low gear set for this. Now we're gonna do some hill climb. We'll see how it does. This isn't 45 degrees, it's probably more like 39, 38 degrees. It is foam on the bottom of that board, so it holds pretty well. Almost lost it because I'm driving one-handed and filming. That's better. But I mean, it doesn't seem like it's got bad modulation there going up. There's plenty of power. So right there, I am not using, well, the mirror popped off. Let's try that again. It is nice that the mirror will pop off instead of breaking when it lands on its side. So I'm gonna go slow. That's me not using any throttle at all. So it looks like it's in the forward brake reverse setting right now. So that's how much drag it's got on the transmission. It'll just roll down something like that without throttle. A little bit of drag, but not any real drag brake to speak of. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you want to see some mods coming up to this TRX4M that are going to be huge, like nobody does this, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss it. Also, what are some mods that you guys would like to see on the TRX4M, either the hightrail or the regular one? It's something I enjoy doing, so I'd love to hear what you have to say. Later.